And good evening, good afternoon. We got another reaction to you coming today. What happened to the player who lied his way into the NFL? So apparently there's a player lied, faked it, and ended up getting picked up and into the NFL apparently. I don't know. We're going to watch. Let's find out what happened. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, like, subscribe, share it with a friend maybe. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and hop in.
So I've learned that success is not to be measured so much by the position that somebody's reached in life, but more so by the obstacles that he's had to overcome while trying to achieve said success. Booker T. Washington. By that measure, the subject of today's
That's a good
video
quote
was
from
already
Booker
a
T.
massive
Washington right there.
success. Damon Sheehy, Giuseppe,
Especially if
a
you live your life by
5'11",
it.
170-pound kid with dreams of one day playing in the NBA. Pretty familiar start to the story of tons of kids, but Damon's story takes
So he
a
dreamed
ton
of being in the
twists and
NBA,
turns as he runs into brick wall
not the
after brick
NFL.
wall on one of the unlikely
Interesting.
journeys
What
into
happened
the
to
NFL.
make him go for the
is the
NFL?
football story of Damon Sheehy Giuseppe.
Damon Sheehy Giuseppe? Giuseppe? I think is how you say it.
In high school, Damon was a basketball player.
Giuseppe?
But he wasn't even ranked as a hooper. Hell,
Giuseppe?
he didn't even
Giuseppe?
have a scholarship offer. He decided to attend
There we go.
Mesa Community College. So he goes to this JUCO and tries to walk on to the basketball team. He had it all planned out. He'd make the team, from there go on to get a D1 offer, probably a lower level D1 school. Ball out at that school, get him to the tournament, lead his team to an upset victory versus a powerhouse school in the tournament, get noticed by the NBA scouts, get drafted in the second round, and eventually work his way up to a starting role through a bunch of 10-day contracts and random injuries to players who were ahead of him. Maybe that's how it played out in his head. Instead, we got to back all the way up back to that JUCO tryout. He didn't make the team. Dream over. No. When he was cut off by life's defenses, he did what all the great ones do. Pivot. He instead joined the track team as he always had good speed. This time he made it, but an untimely car accident prematurely ended his track
wow, that's
season.
tough.
Now he was back at square one. At
Bro
this
wanted
point,
to play
he's already
basketball,
failed
got cut
twice.
from the team, didn't make
basketball team,
didn't make
lost
it.
his spot on the track team, and he's
Joins
sitting
up
at
with
a
the track
community
team, then
college
gets
where
in
the
a car
chances of
accident
moving up
and
are already slim.
gets his spot taken
Perfect
there.
time to give up, try
That's
something
tough,
else.
man.
Not exactly. Damon got wind of a football tryout at Phoenix College, not to be confused with the University of Phoenix, which is an online school. We're talking Phoenix College, that's a JUCO in Arizona. Damon attended the tryout and felt he did pretty well, but he never heard back. Another failure?
Oh, that's tough.
Maybe for most. Damon didn't see it that way. He looked at it like this. Well, look, they never called me back, so I don't know if I made it or if I didn't make it. They didn't say no. Technically, he was right. He figured I'd just show up to workouts, and if they tell me to leave, cool. If they don't, and I blend in well like I plan to do, I'll just work out with the team until they can't deny me. The plan was a long shot, but it was all...
That's interesting. That's one way to do it. Man just said, I'm going to go. I'm going to show up for the tryouts. Or showed up for the tryouts. They never let him know whether he did or didn't make it. So he was just like, yo, I'll show up and work out with the team. And, like, we'll just see where it goes from there. He didn't want to take no for an answer.
Workout, beasting out, finishing first in the sprinting drills and things like that. Just really grinding it out, man. He was hanging it all.
He was just showing up, showing out.
Actually a part of the team. And when the summer was over, the coaches was like, what the hell, man? They put him on the roster. The plan worked. All this after constantly being denied an opportunity.
Oh, wow.
He created one out of nothing through sheer will. And if no other sport respects that, football damn sure does. If you want it more than everybody else, that will not go unnoticed in football. You want a cat like that on your team, even if he not gonna play, but he did play. And he played well. Damon wasn't a football player by trade and didn't look great in standard football drills originally, only because they're largely based on repetitions and Damon just didn't have the reps throughout his life. What he did have was track speed and the heart of a motherfucking lion. With those two things alone, you can make an impact on special teams for sure. Damon learned to feel kicks, and once he did, they turned him loose on the JUCO world. In his very first year, he amassed nearly 1,200 kick return yards, making him an NJCAA All-American kick returner. The next year, he improved 1,278 yards, which was the most in the nation. 4 kick return touchdowns and 400 more punt return yards to go with that. Dude made the absolute most out of his 2 years, but when his clock ran out, that was it. Damon went to the bank and applied for a credit card that he quickly maxed out. How? He was financing trips to every SEC and Big 12 school, all in an attempt to get in there armed with this new game film that he had, hoping that they'd take a look at it and allow him to walk on to the team. As you can already see at this point in the story, Damon is built different, bro. This is a different type of animal you dealing with.
This was just something he wanted and wasn't going to take no for an answer.
Anything he really put his mind to. He wasn't going to take no for an answer.
Yeah, facts.
Do this, bro? He leveraged his whole future against a credit card to drive to these schools to just try to walk in there, charm his way in, get him to look at his tape. Like, do you know how long of a full court shot that is? But he put the house on it.
He was all in.
Nah, but he tried it. You know what I'm saying? Despite all of that, only one school even watched the tape. And even if they did want to give Damon a shot, unfortunately for him, he was 9 credits short and wouldn't have even been eligible to play D1. So that ended up being a little bit of a waste of time. Still, determined as ever,
That's tough.
Damon was like, can't do college? Okay, cool. This man decided he'd just go pro. So he came up with the exact same plan. I'll go to every NFL team until somebody watches my tape and gives me a workout. He started in Florida, Tampa Bay, Miami. Didn't have any luck with any of those either. Eventually, he tried the CFL as he heard they had a tryout in Las Vegas. Drives out there, works out, leaves it all out on the field, man, only for them to tell him that, oh, you know, we really don't take anybody from these tryouts. This is just kind of a thing that we, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine? Fine, fine. Tries arena ball. All right, I know I got that. No, didn't make it. When your goal was the NFL and you can't make the arena ball team, at that point it's like, you know, come on.
That's tough.
It's over. If you're not good enough to make that arena ball team, then maybe you should give it up. And maybe Damon felt that way for a while. He had been reduced all the way from his D1 hopes, NFL hopes, CFL hopes, arena ball hopes. The man was playing flag. Legit, playing flag. That was all he had. And I'm sure there's no way in hell he was thinking that this flag football league is the next step to the NFL. But in some crazy way, it was. So one of the flag players that Damon played with had a friend who heard about this tryout. The Cleveland Browns were holding an invitation-only tryout in Miami. This just kind of came up in casual conversation, but Damon is desperate to get the address to the tryout. The dude really don't want to give it to him. Like, bro, it's invite only. Relax. Eventually, he gets the address out of the guy, and as he's walking off, the dude was like, well, look, man, since you're going up there, look for Alonzo Highsmith. Okay, cool. He had a little bit of information. He had something to go off. So Damon goes and he Googles Alonzo Highsmith, finds out that's the vice president of player personnel for the Browns. So he burns an image of what Lonzo looks like in his brain, finds out a couple of things about him. He's preparing to pretend that he knows this guy. So yeah, Damon's a little bit crazy, bro. He's a little crazy, but you gotta be, bro. You gotta be crazy out here. When he made it to the workout, unsurprisingly, he was met with confusion. Like, who are you? Oh, I'm Damon Sheehy Giuseppe. I'm here for the tryout. You know Alonzo? Yeah, I know Alonzo. Okay, well, go ahead, go in. Was it that easy? Yeah, it was that easy. Apparently, based on Damon's delivery and confidence and a lack of diligence by whoever was at the door, Damon got in, and he wisely immediately searched for Alonzo Highsmith. Finds him, goes up, introduces himself, and Alonzo is impressed that this person that he does not know has finessed his way into this workout, and he's curious. He's like, if this dude did all of this to get here, let's at least see what he's got. I mean, hell, is this one more person? Not gonna hurt nothing. Let's do it.
Facts.
Here's some details I couldn't find in any of the articles about Damon, but I believe if he really did his research, which I think he did, he would have found out that Alonzo Highsmith is much more than the vice president of player personnel for the Browns. He's also a former D1 player who attended the University of Miami and won a national championship back in the 80s. He went on to be drafted first round 3rd overall in the 1987 NFL Draft. He was taken by the Houston Oilers, where he was one of the best blocking fullbacks in the game. He stayed in the NFL for only 5 years, then decided to try pro boxing, where he went 27-1-2 in the heavyweight division with 23 knockouts, bruh. So as you can see, Alonzo Highsmith is actually the GOAT in real life. Now, assuming Damon did just a little bit more research, he would have seen that Alonzo is a father, and Alonzo's son, Alonzo Highsmith Jr., actually attended, guess what, junior college? That's right, the same school that Damon attended, Phoenix College, about 6 years before Damon ever got there. Alonzo Highsmith Jr.
That's
later would
crazy.
try to make it into the NFL as a free agent. And he went through that whole ringer, man, working out for teams, bounced around the league for a couple years before he was completely out of the league. Assuming Damon really did his research and casually made Alonzo aware of the similarities between Damon and Alonzo Highsmith Jr., I definitely think Alonzo would have saw some of his son in Damon, and that could be the reason he allowed him to stick around for the workout. If none of that came up during their conversation, it's just really crazy how energies can attract, and that honestly kind of makes the whole story that much cooler. Damon fielded punts and kicks, and the former JUCO All-American made a good impression in that department. When he lined up for the 40-yard dash, the make-or-break drill in many of these cases, since teams can't teach speed, the former track athlete ran a 4.38, which was faster than the times of all but...
Yeah, that's insane. A 4.38? A 4.38 is absolutely insane. Anything under a 4.4 is just, like, insane. Especially in the world of football. Like, a 4.4 is... It's pretty common in football. If you're under a 4.4, that's insane.
5 wide receivers in the 2019 NFL Draft.
Yeah.
That was big, and if anything was going to swing this thing into his favor, that was it. The workout ended like all the others. When it was over, Damon left, made sure his phone ringer was turned all the way up, and waited. Every other tryout he'd ever been to, bruh, from JUCO basketball to JUCO football to CFL to arena, every other tryout, he never got a call back. But 30 minutes later, after this NFL tryout, the phone rings. And it is the guy who he was just pretending to know, Alonzo Highsmith. He's actually ringing his phone for real now. Crazy. Alonzo told Damon he had been invited to the official tryout all the way in Cleveland 1 week later. That was mostly good news, except for the fact that Damon had run out of money and could barely get to Cleveland. And when he got there, he knew he would have nowhere to stay. But he'd come way too far at this point to give up now. Dang. So he spent his last money getting to Cleveland. When he got there, he slept outside the first night. Then he found a 24-hour fitness center that allowed him to stay there a couple nights. He go to laundromat, charge his phone there. He was just figuring it out, man, biding his time for a week. Eventually, the tryout rolls around. When the tryout started, Alonzo had already filled in Browns GM, John Dorsey, on this kid who had some good speed and explosiveness. And Damon showed up as if he had been getting the best sleep of his life, was in great shape, had been eating good, all these things that were not true. But out there on the field, it looked like it. His explosion and his speed immediately jumped out to John Dorsey, and also his skill as a returner. If you have speed, explosiveness, and heart, acquiring those special team skills can take you a long way, bro. A lot of people don't want to do that stuff. It could take you a long way. At this point, Damon was impressing all the right people. And after all that, this crazy journey, this man was offered a free agent contract. But of course, as we all know, that doesn't guarantee you a spot on the final roster, but it did guarantee, at least for the next 4 months, that this man would have somewhere to stay and some food to eat. You know what I'm saying? And he had extended his dream a little further along. Now he had way better resources to continue to prepare. He was in the building. He just had to keep doing what he was doing. This is a story straight out of a movie or a Netflix show or something like that. It's just so many reasons he could have quit throughout.
Truth.
No offers in high school. Didn't make the JUCO basketball team. Got into a wreck, got kicked off the JUCO track team. Wasn't invited to the JUCO football workouts. Denied by all the D1s after JUCO. CFL said no. Arena Ball said no. Finessed his way into a Cleveland Brown workout. Slept outside. Was homeless for a week. All to walk in there, impress everybody, and get a free agent contract.
Facts. If you need some motivation, there you go.
I'll leave y'all with the quote from the man who Damon lied and said he knew, Alonzo Highsmith. It doesn't happen very often. Trust me. I've been in this 22 years now, and that does not happen very often. And the chances of him making the team are even slimmer. But if he does, it'll be one of the greatest stories of all time.
All right, that was absolutely insane. Gotta give it up for that man. Never quit, never went back on what he wanted. Like, just true drive. Like, that's some inspirational stuff right there. Hey, that's all for that. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, maybe even share with a friend. I'm out.